Meet me, Kim Wilson. I believe love wins. I've been married to my amazing husband for over 14 years. I'm very comfortable in my own skin. My parents did a wonderful job of loving me. I am the youngest of 3 siblings. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. My favorite food are buffalo wings. If there's no blue cheese, go ahead and suspend that whole transaction. Honey, I gotta have the blue cheese. Professionally, I am a licensed professional counselor in private practice. I am also a podcaster and motivational speaker. Oh yes, we're all more than just one thing at any given time. I love inspiring the masses. It's my purpose. I use my education in human behavior to facilitate dynamic workshops and live events about building healthy relationships. I am the creator of I Need a Session, which is a YouTube show and ebook. My favorite word is amazing. It's better than average and okay. My motto is, why settle for okay when amazing is an option? Welcome to I Need a Session. I'm Kim Wilson, your host. Oh boy, do we have a show lined up for you this evening. So we're doing something different. I have a guest host. Yes, it is a guest takeover. I have my buddy, my pal, my friend, Freddie Allen in the house this evening. Say hello, Freddie.
Hey, everyone.
So if you all have been following me, you may have heard that today is a special day. I actually launched my very first ebook today, and it's titled I Need a Session. So what I'm going to do is step out of the role as host. I'm going to become the interviewee, and Freddie is going to be the interviewer. So as of now, I am the interviewee, and Freddie is the host. Go ahead, Freddie.
We have an exceptional treat for you guys today. Today, we're going to talk about the book, I Need a Session. And we're going to learn all about the very special person that we absolutely love, Kim Wilson. And I'm going to get right into it and not delay. Kim, I Need a Session. Why the title? Where did you come up with that?
Yeah, so I Need a Session is a whole mood, it's a whole brand. As a therapist, whenever I'm like in the store, traveling, if I'm in the airport, and somebody asks me what I do professionally, and I tell them that I'm a therapist, they jokingly say, "Girl, I need a session." And I don't think at that moment they're saying I have a problem. I really feel like they have something that they want to release, share, discuss. And when I thought about doing a show, I called it I Need a Session. And I realized it's more than a show, it's a book, it's a lot of things. Um, it's this space that help people to build better relationships with themselves and others. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a ton of people out there that desire to write a book. Tell us some of the joys and pitfalls of just the process of you writing this wonderful work of art.
You know what? That's a great question. I'm so glad you asked that question because, Freddie, there are some people who are watching this and they may feel like, hey, I want to write a book. Let me just tell you, this is no overnight thing here. I have started, I have stopped, I have started, I have stopped. I've been wanting to write a book since 2014. I even had a book coach in 2016, and I just could not get my thoughts focused enough. And finally, at some point this year, I said, I have to press the reset button. And I just became focused, pulled in some help, and I was able to finally complete this project. And this is the first because I love this role of author. I love being able to have this. I think books are tools. I've always felt that way. It's one of the things it's one of the tools that I use as a therapist just about every single day. So, as far as like some of the pitfalls of writing a book, it's really about becoming focused and disciplined. If you stop writing, if you stop focusing, you can fall into this pitfall of not finishing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you said a key thing, the thought of, and the first chapter in your book, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Amazing starts with a thought. Tell us about that.
Yeah, thoughts become things. My favorite word is amazing, right? And the reason why I love the word amazing because it's better than average. It's better than okay. Like no, who came here to pay for average? You know, um,
Mhm.
when we start thinking amazing, we can be amazing, and it can come out through our language, our behavior. our behavior will follow our thoughts. And so, starting out with that chapter, I wanted to lay the groundwork of just offering this concept, this tool, this mindset of helping people to know, listen, amazing is it's at your disposal. It's always there. The only thing you have to do is just start it with a thought. It's
Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. And you go right into positive affirmations. You know, the power of a word. Just speak on that just a little.
Yes, you know what? Positive affirmations are one of my favorite tools. Let me tell you why. Because the neuroscience is the brain learns off of repetition, right? A lot of times
Mhm.
when relationships start to fall apart, it's because usually it's in the communication. We stop affirming one another, especially when the relationship with ourselves fall apart. It's those negative thoughts. Positive affirmations are positive statements. I am worthy. I am. I can. I will. And you put that on repeat. It doesn't matter if you believe that or not, because you are the brain. If you're having negative thoughts on a loop, the brain is already remembering that, and it may not be true. So why not create this healthy habit of affirming ourselves so we can elevate our mood and we can have amazing thoughts and feel amazing and be amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love the flow of this artwork that you've done. And I call it artwork because you talk about self-love. So you go from hear your thoughts and you go right to the heart of things. Self-love. Expound on that for me.
Yeah, self love. I connect that as I connect that to the relationship with yourself. Being a lot of times we are requesting from others what we have not given ourselves. Self love is all about affirming ourselves, establishing boundaries, making sure that our needs and wants are addressed. Whenever we are able to identify self love as a tool, there's no such thing as somebody being able to walk all over us. You're not going to have it. It's like, no, the best way I can think of
Mhm.
it, Freddie, is uh people love their cell phones for the most part. Honey, they will protect that thing. They'll buy a case for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They'll check it there. They'll check on it every time.
And
Every
don't leave it at home, right?
They will nurture that cell phone. It's like, you know what? If you really pay attention to the behavior between a person and their cell phone, if they duplicated that behavior with themselves, boom, you got self love, honey.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that our downfall, especially in our community, is the ability to observe and create healthy boundaries. You have a wonderful chapter in the book, and it talks about healthy boundaries. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I boundaries, that's a tool. What I really wanted to do in this book is help people identify some basic tools that are free. You don't have to buy them off the shelf. They are already inside of you. So you can build healthy relationships with yourself and others. A lot of times when we stop using boundaries or we don't know that boundaries exist, it can really start to create problems for us. So we say yes when we really mean no because we get into people pleasing. And that means that somebody else is getting what they want and you're not getting what you want. So just being able to use boundaries and understand that boundaries is actually a form of self love.
It is, it really is, which kind of throws us into the next thing I would love to talk about, which is emotional intelligence. You have a section in the book and you dive right into the emotions and the intellect that drives our decisions. Can you explain that to our listeners?
Yeah, I really would like to see emotional intelligence as a part of the curriculum in our school systems because sometimes people they struggle with reading a room. And when I say reading a room, observing and connecting to what a person is saying, what they are doing. With emotional intelligence, if you're paying attention, if a person if they seem disoriented, if they seem like they're having a bad day, that emotional intelligence is going to tell you, you know what, do not try to broach tough subjects with this person right now because they are not in the mood for all of that. Being able to read the room and just say, you know what, from an intelligent perspective, emotionally, this person is not well right now. So I'll take a step back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, see, taking a step back also requires a tool. And yet, that whole thing of moving forward, you have a wonderful section that talks about moving forward, overcoming conflict, hurt, disappointments. Just share with us what some of the things that you expounded on.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite subjects to talk about, Freddie. Moving on and let it go. A lot of times when we harbor resentment, anger, or something like that, it's because we haven't moved on and let go. And what's connected to that as well is forgiveness. We get to forgive in pieces, but moving on and letting go keeps us from getting stuck. And one of the reasons why I put that chapter in the book, because I can't tell you how many people that I've met inside of my practice as a counselor, outside of my work, people who are stuck in relationships that ended 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and they're still recalling experiences from those relationships that they feel angry about. It's like, if you really want to heal this space, if you really want to do that, give yourself permission to move on and let that go. It doesn't mean that the memory is going to go away, but you get to release that anger so love can come in and sit there instead of resentment.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've known you for a long time. And one thing that I have absolutely been impressed with is your ability to make the day, as you say, amazing. You highlight that in a section you called Knowing Your Heartbeat. And one thing that you say that I love, and I'll quote your book, it says, "What will you do with your heartbeat today?" Tell us, why is that a big question for you? Hmm?
Yes. Listen, if you don't have a heartbeat, you are flatline, baby. Done. That's it. So my thing is, once I wake up in the morning and I realize I got my heartbeat, it's like boom, I'm up on two. Let's do it. I got it from here. So that means there's more for me to do. And a lot of times when we feel defeated, we feel discouraged, depressed, we're thinking about all of the have nots, all of the things that we don't have instead of the things that we do have. One of my biggest haves is my heartbeat. So with my heartbeat, there's more to do. The resources are there, the solutions are there. The only thing I have to do is keep moving and being intentional about connecting to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. What is your favorite part of the book?
All of them, honey. But you know, there is a page 11. I
Okay.
like all of the sections really. Page 11 talks about the ultimate you.
Absolutely.
And I really like the section in there where it identifies strengths. A lot of times people don't know what their strengths are. I can't tell you how many times as a counselor I have asked a client, so tell me about you. And I don't know what to say.
Uh-huh,
Right there. Because if you don't have a lot of words to describe you, if you think somebody is over there in the corner talking about you, you're going to believe them because they have more words to describe you than you do. And this section is called the ultimate you, just giving language, just helping people, just giving some examples of what some of your strengths are. And I think it's important to know your strengths because we're always teaching people about who we are. It is not somebody else's responsibility to tell me about me. I've been with me longer than that. What are you what are you talking about? I got the answers here. So I really enjoyed writing that section, the ultimate you. It's something that I talk about all the time.
It was a great read. And the other thing is, especially in our community, we don't seek professional help. We have a lot of mental issues in Black and Brown communities. Can you just speak to that and just, because people we have had a stigma about going out and reaching out and just really looking into ourselves. Can you just tell us a little bit the importance about it?
Yeah. So before I get to the importance of it, I just want to just kind of say what I believe the reason why a lot of Black and brown communities, especially the Black community, we don't always reach out for or see the value in mental health, because for a long time there's this phrase that would go on in Black homes: what goes on in this house stay in this house. It's like, oh, you out there speaking on the family business, you know. There was this language: you pray about it, you talk to pastor about it.
Mhm, mhm.
And that was a learned mindset. So some people just to get away from that mindset was a challenge. And when people did seek mental health, it was usually the veterans that came from Vietnam, and they were not the same person. And when they saw that veteran talking to themselves, fighting the air, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they need some help. They thought about that, it was that
Right,
family member who
right.
had been to the Vietnam War. Yeah. But when we connect to mental health resources and we realize how powerful it is in a Black community, then we can disrupt dysfunctional patterns, difficult mother-daughter relationships or father-son relationships,
Mhm.
that come along with abandonment, neglect, rejection, not able to bond because a parent was out of the home and worked 14 hours a day. So when we understand that when we move our feelings through us, they don't get stuck inside of us. And therapy, mental health resources is all about healing that emotional space.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is about healing. And one of the things that we deal with a lot in our community is what you clone as a sharp tongue. People feel like I'm going to say what I say, period. That's what I said. One of the things that one of the quotes was, a sharp tongue can cause major damage to relationships and emotional well being. Speak on that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I was a little girl, we used to sing this little song: "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me." Honey, please. Words do hurt, and people will take words that happened 30 years ago on the playground and it still replays in their head today. Or words when a caregiver, a parent, whoever was that raised them, cared for them, may have called them stupid, told them they'll never be anything. Those words hurt, and it can also it can be traumatic for some people because it's emotional abuse. It's more than just somebody just playing around, or they didn't mean anything by it. They may not have meant anything by it, but it meant something to me. It hurt me. It sliced me open, that person's tongue. So just being aware of how powerful our words are. Words have power.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you round the book up with something I think is, again, brilliant. You talked about becoming amazing. What is that like?
Becoming amazing, and it goes back to the very first question that you asked me. Becoming amazing starts with thinking amazing. I am, I can, I will. What goes in must come out. So when we start with this amazing mindset, we are inclined to treat our fellow human being amazing before anybody is anything to you, before they are a sister, a cousin, a neighbor, a friend. They are your fellow human being. And becoming amazing is about overcoming the fluff, overcoming the negative, and developing a winning mindset, a positive mindset. That's love. Love wins. I certainly believe that love conquers all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we know that your favorite word is amazing. So, what is your least favorite word?
Hate.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes people casually say, "Oh, I hate broccoli," or they
Mhm,
like,
mhm.
"Oh, it just scratches my ears." It's like, you know what? I especially when I hear children say it, I correct them. I just can't go around correcting adults. Like, "Hey, don't you say that." I remember being a little girl, we actually could not say the word hate, and it was almost treated like a curse word. It's like, don't you say that. And it's probably part of my programming as well. It's so strong, and I don't feel like it adds anything to the atmosphere. So that's why
Absolutely.
it's my least favorite word.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're definitely at the top of your game. What excites you and motivates you?
Love, honey. I am in love with love. I just, I love to see people being loving towards one another and having it show up in their actions and their behavior. I love loving kindness. It motivates me to do better, to be better. Yes, please, and thank you. All of that is a language of love.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So if you had to do one thing other than what you're doing, and absolutely you're doing a great job doing it, but what would that one thing be?
That's a great question. Hmm. I will probably run a spa.
Okay.
If I had the funding to just have this amazing spa, and for those people in underserved communities who don't know what it feels like to be pampered and to go inside this amazing space where somebody is just taking care of you and doting over you, I would make sure that those people just enjoy a full day inside of my spa and not think about a bill, not worry about being there for somebody else, but just being able to relax and enjoy somebody being there for them.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful. And speaking of someone being there for them, when the time comes and you pass away and you go to those pearly gates, what would you like to hear God say to Kim Wilson?
Well done.
Well done.
Well done. Yes. Yes.
Kim, I really appreciate you giving the time for us to get to know you a little bit. We all need a session. Thank you for everything that you've done. You've definitely been a blessing into my life, and I'm going to switch our hats back and let you take over your show.
Thank you so much, Freddie. Let me just tell you, you did an amazing job. I appreciate that. Listen, you all sit tight. I'm getting ready to come live to you right now in 5, 4, 3, 2,